morning, I'm Khofifah Septiyana. Welcome to FLA News, bringing you the eye on the news. Covid-19 new variant, Omicron. Government asked to ensure low cases are not due to lack of testing and tracking. 3 people with the Omicron variant are isolated at Wisma Atlet Jakarta. The quarantine location is now temporarily closed to prevent the release of the variant to the public. Epidemiologists urged the government to immediately increase the coverage of tests and close contact tracing for everyone arriving from abroad. These two things are considered crucial to prevent the spread of the Omicron variant in Indonesia. This call was expressed when the arrival of people from abroad increased ahead of the Christmas and New Year holidays, amid the rapid outbreak of Omicron case in Europe and the United States. Minister of Health Budi Gunadi Sadikin said that currently there are only 3 positive cases of Omicron in Indonesia. The 3 sufferers and people who came into contact with the patient and variant are said to be still isolated at Wisma Atlet Jakarta. But as number of people coming from abroad has increased in recent days, with a figure of around 3,500 passengers per day, tracking frequently. Meanwhile, so far in Indonesia, Omicron has only reported 3 positive cases. The 3 cases were triggered by the arrival of people from abroad. However, close contact tracing in recent months has become less and less carried out because the COVID-19 case in Indonesia is sloping, said the chairman of the Indonesian Association of Epidemiologists, Haryadi Wibisono. Haryadi said that search need to be pushed immediately to anticipate the spread of the new variant of the coronavirus Omicron, amid the increasing number of arrivals from abroad. A number of migrants from China who had been isolated in Manado, North Sulawesi, in the last few days were declared negative for COVID-19. The search for cases must be maintained, only then can we be sure that this low case is really low, not because it is underreported or untraceable. The new variant can only determine after we find a positive case. The specimen is examined when can determine whether it's an Omicron or not. The DKI Jakarta provincial government has made the Nagrak flat as a quarantine location for Indonesian migrant workers from abroad after the Kemayoran Athlete House was temporarily closed. Referring to immigration data, the inflow of people from abroad to Indonesia continues to increase ahead of the Christmas and New Year period. The number of migrants entering through the airport, for example, in recent weeks has been around 3,500 people per day. However, in a virtual press conference on Monday, 12 December, Minister Budi Sadikin said, in general, the majority of foreign travelers enter through sea and land gates. Budi said the positivity rate, or comparison of the number of positive cases and the number of tests, at ports and land border is higher than at airports. The data was obtained from analysis of the results of the PCR and VGS test. The latter is a method for determining the variant of the coronavirus that a person has. Speed up vaccination to prevent the rise of Omicron. Raising the status of PPKM to level 3 or 4 due to Omicron and ahead of the Christmas and New Year holiday is difficult because of various restrictions that have been set by the government, said epidemiologist from the University of Indonesia, Tri Yunis Miko. Because they cannot rely on people mobility restriction, they said the impact of Omicron spread will depend largely on vaccination. Although it does not prevent transmission, the Covid-19 vaccine is believed to be able to relieve the symptoms of people who have the Omicron variant. However, epidemiologist Haryati Wibisono said vaccination would not be enough to stem the spread of the Omicron variant. According to him, awareness of implementing health protocol and avoiding crowds will remain crucial. COVID-19 prevention as a whole is about health protocols and vaccination. Approaching the New Year's Eve, people tend to travel, gather, and forget about health protocols. This is a factor that allows transmission, said Haryati. The government plans to extend the quarantine period for international travelers entering Indonesia to 14 days if the spread of Omicron expands. Until this news was compiled, the government said 3 cases of the Omicron variant had been isolated at Wisma Atlet, Jakarta. The government is closing the quarantine place for the next few days. The purpose of temporary closing Wisma Atlet, said Minister Budi Sadikin, is to prevent the Omicron variant from coming out and spreading to the wider community. The 3 Omicron cases are said to have come from travelers who came from Nigeria, England, and Guyana. Another policy that is now being taken by the government is to prohibit the arrival of foreigners whose countries are being battered by Omicron, including Britain. Well, that's all we have today. I'm Khofifah Septiyana. See you tomorrow on FLA News, bringing you the eye on the news.